Good morning. I hope everything's going great in your world today and that this is going to be a tremendous week for you. You know, when you look at the Bible, one of the amazing things that you see are warnings that about things that may take place in the future and about our own life in living fully and completely for God. You also see a world of questions of things that I think God is trying to get us to think through. You know, what is your life? It's a vapor that appears for a little time and then vanishes away. What must I do to be saved? And well, what greater question could ever be asked than that? What is a man profited if he gains the whole world and loses his soul? So the Bible is absolutely full of that kind of question that we ought to answer for ourselves. It's also, some of the warnings just amaze me. I want to look at one of them today. In the book of First John, chapter 4, John has just talked about the fact that as a Christian, that we have the Spirit of God abiding in us, and by the Spirit that God has given us, we know that our lives are right with the Lord. But then immediately after that, and it really is unfortunate that those who divided the Bible into chapters made that chapter break just where they did, because it interferes with the thought. Immediately after saying that, John's next word is, "Beloved, do not believe every spirit, but test the spirits to see whether they're from God. For many false prophets have gone out into the world, and by this you know the Spirit of God. Every spirit that confesses that Jesus Christ has come in the flesh is from God. And every spirit that does not confess Jesus is not from God. This is the spirit of the Antichrist, which you heard is coming and is now already here," John says. As a matter of fact, earlier he had said many antichrists have already gone out. There are a whole bunch of them in the world. The word antichrist, by the way, just means someone that's against Christ. Sometimes in our world, we've been talked about how that the Antichrist is someone that is coming and is going to stand against Christ in the world. But John says, listen, there's a lot of them out there, and they have the spirits of those Antichrists, spirits really of demons that stand against the Lord. So many believed that they had the Spirit of God in their life when they really had the spirit of the demon, of the Antichrist. Now, notice, in their day, one of the major problems was people saying that Jesus really didn't come with a physical body. He really wasn't a man at all. But they actually used the illustration, if you'd reached out to shake his hand, your hand would have gone right through it, because he was really a spirit and not a human being. And so that when he supposedly died on the cross, he didn't really die at all, because he really didn't have a physical body. Well, John says, listen, that's a spirit of an antichrist. That's not really from God. And to believe such a thing is to go completely away from God. Now, the reality is, one can be an antichrist by teaching anything that violates what Jesus Christ is and what he stood for, and the things that he taught. When I go against Christ, I am being anti-Christ in that very way of living. And so John says, I want you to think. Now, when you feel or think you're hearing from God, be sure, test the spirits to see if it really is from God, because you may have a spirit moving in you that's not from God at all. You may have a spirit of the devil there, or the spirit of the Antichrist. that is leading you away. And so it's so easy to fall into that trap of teaching things about Jesus or about what Jesus said that's really not what he taught at all. The Antichrist were already there and very active in John's day in the teaching of things like Gnosticism that denied the humanity of Jesus. He said that's that spirit of the Antichrist. And are they alive and well? You bet your life they are. And they're still pulling people away from the Lord. So much that people listen to is pulling them away rather than closer to the Lord. I need to test the Spirit to see if it really is from God or a different kind of spirit altogether.